Okay, everyone, we are here for the first round of our Project Cars 2, yes, our P Cars 2's latest championship, the LMP3-based Prototype Challenge. I like how this is like kind of a weird middle ground between an Indy car and a GT3 car. With qualifying literally just getting underway. I mean, we literally watched the first car leave the pit lane. Round 1 heads to Imola. I'm not saying that full name because I can't even remember all of it. It's named after 2 dead people, basically. Yeah, the autumn colors are in full effect as qualifying here gets underway for should be an interesting championship. Hopefully. We can only hope that the championship goes to the last race like it did in IndyCar. Well, I mean, mathematically it did anyway. Andrew Davis was the first to leave the pits. They managed to get a grid penalty for a pit lane violation. I think they forgot to turn the pit limiter on, or something of the sort. Uh, 10-car field, so not the biggest, but I'm not particularly surprised. APC doesn't really draw the crowds the same way that IndyCar does. Or GT3, for that matter. At 46 is not representative, obviously. That's just an outlap that got timed by accident, really. Okay, Van Dusendorp has just left. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Imola is a very interesting track to have as the opener. Oh, he's back. As well, because this is... I don't want to say it's a difficult track, but it has a few qualities to it that just make it really wacky. It's kind of a bit of a casual killer because of just the gimmicks that it has, all of the changes in direction, elevation changes like that through Aqua Minerale and stuff like that just make this place just a real oddity. And also these curbs that are almost as tall as the vehicles themselves. That's the big one. Andrew's heading down the hill. Only 2 more corners left to make before we have our first official lap time, and he invalidated it at the last minute. Oh, right, never mind. Now it's going to be, well, somebody. Either Logan Cool or the car directly behind him. I'm not sure who that would be. That's Jurgensmeyer, that they're trying to get position on the track. Oh, there's the leg from Travis rejoining. So this is not technically blocking, as Logan Cool is on his own lap. It was actually Luis Ramirez that had the first lap put in. That was like of value, a 39.7. 41 from Jurgensmeyer, a 45.2 from Logan Cool. But now Jurgensmeyer is ahead of Logan, so he'll have the racetrack to himself. 42.4 from Connor Hannock. The last moment regulation change on the day is the fact that stability control has been reintroduced to the Project Cars 2 series after it was turned off midway through the IndyCar season, I should say. This was done with the intention of hopefully promoting people What? Basically, when I'm done having a mental breakdown, hopefully stability control will make it easier for people to cross the finish line with their car in one piece. I'm hoping to kind of minimize silly crashes. No, even Dylan gets pushes the limits too far. He gets a track limit invalidation. 37.6 from his first run, though. Andrew Davis is crossing the line. I believe that is an actual lap, but it ain't much of one. And we know he can go faster based on what we saw before. Still a couple of heavy hitters who have yet to run a lap. AJ, I believe this must be an out lap or something. He's trying to get the tires heated, I suppose. Matthew Stotts, Travis Van Oostendorp after his disconnection, and Gabe Gazzola still have yet to run a lap time. Travis has just begun a lap. Gabe might be finishing one off here. Yes, a 39.0. Which drivers even are LA7? I don't know any of the teams. The cars are kind of picked haphazardly at the last minute. I don't actually know who's on what team. Jurgensmeyer tops the charts with a 37.5. Only 900ths over Dylan Bam. But, oh, Connor and Logan. So, basically the white cars. Wait, what? Oh, they are teammates. They just don't look like team cars, but they are, because they're 74 and 75. That's weird. That's gonna probably mess with my head a little bit. I'm not used to that. I'm used to the side mirrors looking different, not the entire paint scheme. AJ Knickel with a 48.5. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's not representative. Andrew Davis just moved up the board with a 40.6. That'll be a net 6th, though, considering he has a penalty. Van Oostendorp, now the last driver remaining to make a lap, is Connor Hannock tail spins in the background. Travis makes it out of the last turn. I believe this should be him completing a lap, since I think we watched him start it a minute ago. And with about a minute and a half left on the clock, now it's crunch time. Yep, there's a 41.9, so he has a lap time on the board, at the very least. I would be surprised if that's his maximum pace, but it's something for the moment. Yep, Knickel finds 7 seconds, but that's still only a 41.3. Stotts jumps to a 40.4. And this is going to be basically everybody's final lap of the session that we're looking at here. Well, not everybody, but a lot of, like, for the most part, we're looking at kind of the final countdown, as it were. With less than a minute to go in this qualifying session. All of the signboards out there are destroyed. Might make spotting your braking point a little harder. Jurg is in the pits. He seems to be complacent with his 37.5. I don't know if that's going to survive, though. Dylan Bam is on the racetrack. And I think this is him coming up to finish a lap. Keyword think. No, it wasn't. He's going to be, I think, the last driver to complete a lap. Actually, no, there's like 4 cars in the tail of the racetrack. Gabe Gazzola up 0.8. If he holds that pace, he'll be good for 3rd, especially after Ramirez has spun. And that'll bring an end to his session. Up to the line goes somebody. I don't know who that car was ahead. Gabe finds 0.7, but lost about a 1/10 or so in the last 2 corners. And therefore does not take 3rd away from Ramirez. AJ Knickel finds a 38.6, but that's still nothing compared to Dylan or Jurgensmeyer. about a second or so off of them. Now we just kind of look at Dylan Bam. He's the last like heavy-hitting driver left across the line. Every other driver in the pits, or if not that, on a cooldown run. Up 7/10. I might be looking at another Dylan Bam pole position, which I mean, I wouldn't really be the surprise of anybody, all things considered. Using every inch of track boundaries out of the final 2 turns. Yeah, I think this is going to be in the 36s, folks. I'd be surprised if it's not. 36.940. And that will definitely be pole. And I believe Logan Cool is the last driver left to cross the start-finish line. I don't know if the invalidated lap time is this run or the last one. Or if he's just trying to bring it across to end the session off. The qualifying times are pretty spread out. The top 9, 4 seconds apart. And then Logan with a qualifying to forget, to say the least. Perhaps there was more speed in it for him, but obviously, with that invalid lap time on the previous run, didn't really help. Not going to find any improvements that way. After a brief drink break, that clearly didn't do anything. Although we are looking at the strategy screen right now, no point in me going over the grid order just yet. Because, well, we're doing rolling starts starting today. Or at least we're testing them to see if they'll work. This is supposed to be this was originally meant to be a 40-minute race. However, at the last second, same with the regulation change to allow stability control once again, you've also set it to where we are going to try and mitigate the disparity in, like, basically the way you can get off the line with automatic gears versus manual by doing a manual rolling start. I don't know why the timer on the top is counting down on the screen. It really shouldn't be. But 40 minutes there or thereabouts of racing, which should mean we'll probably be looking at, like, I don't know. So yeah, all of the drivers will make a manual formation lap, and that makes it much easier well, it makes it certainly a lot easier for me to kind of go over each of them individually. So yeah, with the only lap time to get into the 36s, Dylan Bam will lead us to the green flag in about 2 minutes from now. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer starts P2. Luis Ramirez, with an impressive qualifying run in spite of it being ended by a spin earlier than he anticipated, and he will start P3. Okay, I'm putting it on chase cam. This camera's way too far away for this. Gabe Gazzola starts 4th. AJ Knickel, with a bit of a shock qualifying performance, starts in 5th place. Andrew Davis, P6. Matthew Stotts, P7. Travis Van Oostendorp, P8. Connor Hannick and Logan Cool rounding out the field. LA7, despite being the only team with a supporter in the crowd, so to speak, could not bolster their qualifying performance whatsoever. to my understanding, will be doubling up probably out of the last turn. Yeah, I need to work on them having setups, because something tells me they don't have one. I'd be kind of surprised if anybody other than, like, Dylan, Juergensmeyer, and AJ have setups for this race. Oh my lord! That is terrifying to look at. Am I watching GT7? Ramirez's tire warming is, that's unnerving. I don't usually see too much lag from the commentary screen, or broadcast screen, so to be seeing that is quite scary. The Champ Inc. duo of Ramirez and Bam lines up 1-3. They'll both occupy the first two grid spots on the left side of the grid. That sounds redundant. I believe that's, well, them and LA7 are, I believe, the only two-car duo on the track represented here. Hopefully that'll be rectified later, as we get a little more distinguished as far as recruitment and pre-race preparations go. Dylan Bam will take us to the start-finish line, and we will be green from Imola. That was technically before the start-finish line, but I guess he was allowed to control it. He gets away quite well. Obviously, the advantage of being able to go when you want to pays dividends for Dylan Bam, and he leads into one. Ramirez and Gabe Gazzola at close quarters behind that, as AJ tries to recover from a disappointing qualifying day, but you're usually pretty wise not to try and force any moves into the second chicane. That can be pretty risky. Ramirez has fallen way down the order. He's down in 8th. Hennig with a decent start, up 2 over Enger and Ramirez. Travis already has a penalty, I think. Yeah, he does. And Stotts tries to sneak the car down the inside, which didn't really work. And AJ Knickel is basically smelling the exhaust fumes from Gabe Gazzola's car. Passing is known to be rather difficult here at Imola. I forgot the track name for a second. Don't know how I managed to do that. A bit of a wiggle from the 82 there. And the first lap in the books, and Dylan has already made it good on his escape plan, but 2.5 second lead over Jonathan Juergensmeyer, who is, well, I say he's tempted to keep Gabe behind him. Gabe's not really that close to him at the moment. He's about a second back, or just under that. He'd be getting DRS if this were F1, but not much more than that. Stotts had a much better 4-5 complex than Van Oostendorp, but he's going to look for a move in an interesting place. I don't really know if I'd try that here. Not on lap 2 of the race. Yeah, he'll wisely tuck back in behind Van Oostendorp and try that maybe somewhere a little better. This isn't anywhere better. Man. And they're teammates as well, by the way. 45 and I think 46 cars. Although I can't be sure, but you can see it's like a similar yellow stripe on them. I think they're both Conga line. It would make sense. Travis does eventually concede. The Stotts still gets a better run. Yeah, 46. I still can't tell for the life of me what number Travis's car is. It's probably 45. It might be 47. I don't know. The lead is basically maintained the same. A couple of tenths gained in Dylan Bam's favor, but Nothing massive developing just yet, although, as I say that, we got Gabe being overtaken possibly by Knickel, and yeah, Gabe's not gonna put too much effort into that one. My voice is not working with me. Apologies for that. I sound like I am sick. I'm not, I promise you. I don't really know what's the matter here. Okay, so they're not teammates. I'm just lost. Their cars look similar, but they're not teammates. And I know that they are teammates because they're both on Conga Line. I don't get it. I don't really know who's where at this point. Okay, so that's the 45. Okay, so Stotts and Gabe are teammates, I guess. I guess it also makes sense. They're just like, ugh. There is no official roster posted for this series, so I'm kind of just playing by ear at the moment as for who is where. I don't even know who AJ's second driver is for this series. Like, I suppose it's probably Matthew Daly, like it was in IndyCar, but he's obviously not here. He's in the chat. AJ is getting closer to Jurgensmeyer. He's just put in a lap that would I think wouldn't have been a whole lot slower than what he did in qualifying. Just kind of sad in a way, but also, like, I mean, I guess if you're gonna go fast in the part of the weekend where points are on the line. No points for Saturday, as they say. And while AJ is closing in on his future teammate, in 2024 that is, Stotts is currently closing in on his current teammate. Yeah, Logan's having not the greatest day. He was already in last, and now he has to pit for presumably damage. That, or he's getting his mandatory stop out of the way. I don't remember if there is one or not. I can probably check. It's probably in the race check-in. That's not the race check-in. Oh, we got too wide. I think Gabe just kind of let his teammate go. It'd be a little foolish to battle your teammate this early in the race. Yeah, there is a single mandatory pit stop. Yeah, Logan likes to do the thing where he just pits early, tries to catch a surprise yellow, and then suddenly be leading the field to green for no reason other than to, as Logan himself will probably say, commit war crimes. Let's go on board with the 82 of Knickel as he attempts to run down Jurgensmeyer. The status quo has remained much the same, it seems. The top three in points from IndyCar are 1, 2, and 3 in, well, not in the same order, but they are running the top three right now. So if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing's changed at all? We're just in slower Indy. Uh-oh. Dylan Bam must have made a mistake in Minerale. Jurg is looking to force the issue, but that chicane is very difficult to do something like that into. However, a crack in the defense of Dylan Bam's, well, transiently perfect race, and now the hunt is on. This has brought the top three very close together, and Jurg's been bodied by the dirty air. And he gets some massive tail spin. He might be under threat now from Matthew Stotts, who closed in very quickly after getting ahead of his teammate. And now he's going to be on the back of Jurgensmeyer, who was once his teammate in a different series, I believe. I also just realized that this is not CLE, this is T1A, if Stotts is driving for Gabe Kazzola. I'm not sure who Travis's teammate would be. I would like to imagine probably Andrew, but the number doesn't line up. I don't know who the name. Oh no, this is Goat Incorporated. This is like a newer team, but that's not run too much. I'm like trying to piece everything together. There's no 24 or 26 car in this race, so that means that obviously Travis doesn't have a teammate here. But I do not know who it would be, if anybody. I don't believe JSR even signed up for this series either. So, despite literally taking the Constructors' Championship in IndyCar, they elect to not even participate in LMP3s here. I suppose there's a point to be made for it's not their focus. Obviously that their focus is on IndyCar. But it's taken a noticeable chunk out of the total grid size. Oh, close to contact there. Oh, and yep, AJ. Now I was about to say Adrian. Who is Adrian? AJ Knickel is around the same place that Jurek spun just a lap before. And that's sort of broken up this battle a little bit, as I believe, well, they seem to be a bit thrown off by what was going on in front of them. That means that Dylan Bam, despite his own mistake, he now has another safe margin, as his two closest rivals, Jurgensmeyer and Knickel, have also made errors. And so now there's a bit of a micro train going on. Gabe Kazzola leads Knickel and Ramirez through the middle part of the lap, or into the middle part of the track, really. Ramirez goes down the inside of the 82. I don't know why I keep saying this number. It's hardly relevant, but maybe I should be a NASCAR commentator. If I would do that if the game had a spectator suite that was worth a crap. I don't need much, but I do need a leaderboard and a lap counter. And Heat 5's spectator screen does not afford you those luxuries. Well, Stotts remains close there. I got Ramirez getting ahead of AJ Knickel with a much better run out of Minerale, I can only assume. See how long he can stay there. Can he withstand the pressure of the Canadian driver? Canadian versus Venezuelan, with an American of Kazzola up ahead. We're going to look at a three-car battle. Down the inside, Ramirez almost goes on Kazzola. Might have made some contact with them even. Now this is really a train. They're about attached together like they are train cars at this point as they head across the start-finish line. Gabe is going to be in deep trouble in a minute. Oh, we're going to be 3 wide into turn 1. This is only going to end in disaster, something tells me. Gabe, oh, we have a huge flip. AJ Knickel's car has been destroyed. The camera was not able to show if there was contact there. But that is going to definitely be yellow. I mean, I did say that. That was only going to end badly. There's no way that worked. And Connor Hannick puts the Canadian back on his tires. He's lucky not to have lost any of them in that incident. My God. I was trying to figure out what happened to Gabe Kazzola, why he was taking that lane. I think Ramirez might have probably lagged into his quarter panel a little bit, and Gabe had no choice but to slide across the grass. But that was nothing in comparison to AJ Knickel going for a wild ride into the sand trap. Something tells me that was probably to do with Ramirez in latency. Because I don't remember seeing any actual contact, but obviously there was, or AJ Knickel wouldn't have been sent flying through the air like Ricky Bobby. So, that is our first safety car of the race. We got basically a third of the way through. So, this simplifies... God. I don't know why my throat is this congested. For anybody, save your jokes. So I know everybody's thinking them. Haha, your throat. You're my throat goat. Yeah, we're all 12 here. I had to squint there for a second. I thought I was seeing the NFR logo on the front of this car. There's a blue and green logo on the front overhangs of the fenders. I say he might be if he gets there in time, but I don't think he will. It also depends on if well, okay, yeah, everybody else is gonna pit. I don't think this car is staying out. Just a hunch. Lots of penalties. Although I don't think Travis's makes any sense. I think that was probably some wacky speeding penalty. Does Logan get here before somebody exits the pit lane? Everybody except for Logan himself will probably be hoping no. Oh, it's gonna be close. Where's that pit exit lane? Where's the pit speed line? Oh, this will be a shot. No, not quite to the race lead. I believe Logan Cool is going to be given 3rd place. But, I mean, that's still a lot better than last place, 50 seconds behind. Typical Logan strategies, and if the top two collide, he'll be in a position to, well, be the race leader. He's known for wacky things like this, honestly. AJ Knickel is only now getting out of pit lane. Yeah, I mean, I love the strap because that strategy actually... Oh, he's been given the race lead, probably because he didn't pit, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. He was probably given the race lead because of that, and that was considered independent of the fact he was 50-something seconds behind when the yellow flag was called. I love the strap because it gave me my last arc win. Because I did the same thing to counteract him, I knew he'd do it. I mean, the story's been told 100 times, but you know how it goes. Logan doesn't pit, so I don't pit because I don't want him restarting in the lead. Viper had straight line speed for days, and Dylan Bam got caught up in the crossfire. Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure you were there, so... Deep Forest. A Viper's top speed versus Trevor Graham in an S15 didn't really go too well for him. But the only reason I ever won that race was because AJ was off pace that day, and Dylan got involved in a crash caused by Logan Cool being at the front of the grid. I wonder if we'll see the same thing happen here. For Dylan's sake, I hope not, but for the sake of parity, there's a small part of me that kind of does. With about 25 minutes to go, we are about to take the green flag. Logan Cool will control the race start. And I'm surprised he doesn't immediately gas it. Only at about 60 to 65. As well as he can modulate the throttle on a controller. And he'll take us all the way to the start-finish line, it looks like. And we are green once more from Imola. Really good start, or restart for Dylan. He's going to get 3 wide. Matthew Stotts with a huge restart, and oh boy, it's all congested at the apex of turn 1. Jurgensmeyer gains all of those places by leaving the racetrack. I don't know if that's allowed. Somebody is way off in the distance, but we'll keep the camera kind of looking at the front here. As Jurg does escape with the race lead, with Dylan breathing down his neck. And Logan Cool already plummeting down to 9th place, as if nothing even changed. I mean, one LMP3 is pretty quiet, but 10 of them can be kind of loud. Oh, we're gonna be too wide. I can't even tell. Where did Travis come from? How did Travis get here? Travis Van Oostendorp takes the race lead. Stotts in P2. Somebody's way offline there. I don't even know who that was. Dylan must have had a really bad oopsie, because he's down in 7th with AJ Knickel. Was he shoved off somewhere? The absolute chaos of everybody filing towards Sector 2. I couldn't even tell what was going on. Also, rip Lagna indeed. Lagna. Anyway, that sounds like a Ligma type joke. I know they're not teammates in terms of constructors, but as far as I'm convinced, this is basically a T1A 124. And it looks, no, he's not alongside. I thought he was, but he's not. It is a conga line heading towards T1, but nobody's looking for any moves except for Dylan Bam on the outside of Connor Hannock. AJ is going to give him a bit of an assistance and all but push him ahead of the British driver. Oh, this looks gridlock. That's what this is up here. Ramirez in 5th. It's a camera car moment. Oh, camera. Oh, around the back goes Connor Hannock. The camera doesn't know what to do. More madness for LA7. As you look back to the pack race in the top 4. Ramirez fell off the train a little bit, but the top 4 are under a blanket, less than a second apart. It's like we're back in IndyCar. Battle for the lead. Stotts will take it around the outside of Minerale. That's really smooth, actually. So another new race leader. Matthew Stotts makes it the 5th different one of the night. Half the field has led the race at some point today. Jurg had a peek down the inside of Travis, but couldn't convert. Oh, contact behind Ramirez gives Gabe Casillo a little bit of a tap, but nothing critical just yet. Stotts will attempt to make a getaway, while his ex-teammate of Travis will maybe play a bit of spanner in the works, possibly. We'll see if his actual teammate can do the same thing. And Gabe Casillo looks like he's got a bit of a run on Jurgensmeyer. We'll see if he goes anywhere with it, if he can. No, he's going to push Jurg just about. No, we were almost 3 wide there. Jurg is going to get clear of Van Oostendorp into 1. I think Gabe tried to push Jurg ahead of Travis and try and make a lane for himself, but that plot failed. Jurg with a little peek, but he can't get anywhere. Not just yet. So Jurgensmeyer back to P2. Dylan Bam and AJ Knickel still kind of sitting in the middle of the pack. Ramirez with a run on Gabe Casillo. He's going to try and force that issue, heading up towards... I don't actually remember what this corner is called. That will fizzle out. Battle for 6th place. AJ is not waiting. They may be alliance partners, but this is still a race, and AJ wants that place. Bars. And you will get it. Jurg has cut Stotts' lead in half with not even a lapse time. Less than a second to Stotts' advantage at the moment. Dylan got back to P6. I'm not really sure how that happened. I wasn't looking. I can't look everywhere. Oh boy. We have passed regulation halfway and rolling start halfway. 19 minutes to go as Matthew Stotts crosses the line to start lap 13 of the race. And Jurg is here, filling his mirrors, but not quite going to be able to pass here. And when you're in Jurgensmeyer position... Hold on, I'm having a meltdown. When you're in Jurgensmeyer's position, you can't take too long. Because if Jurg tries to go for a pass and fails, he's going to be eaten alive. As we see, oh, Dylan Bam locks the brakes, I believe, or maybe there was contact with Knickel. Even his own teammate didn't let him go, and that's going to actually make Dylan pay the price. He's back to 7th, but AJ is going to look for 5th. Can't get it. Although Ramirez is wide, I should look up a track map if we get another safety car, so I know what these corners are called, other than Aqua Minerale. That's about the only one that sticks out to me, because this corner is terrible, and I hate it. Especially in F1, that corner sucks. Probably a bit more manageable in this game, and in these cars, but in F1 I hate it. Ramirez has held up AJ for a little bit, and that's allowed Dylan Bam to get back to P6 ahead of him, and get right back to AJ's diffuser. So Ramirez falls to 7th. I don't want to say he'll be out of the battle, but he just might be. Pretty evenly spaced apart, or the top 7 at the moment. Each one about roughly a second behind the next. That's a great camera game. Thank you for that. I thought we were too wide back here again. No. Just dealing with a wider exit than AJ had. It looks like Travis will be the next to be assimilated here by the Tech Alliance trio. But I think we'll be looking at a cold dead hands type situation. I don't think he's just going to let this go without, well, quite a lot of resistance. Those are his dudes running the top 3 right now, so Travis is probably going to be fighting against AJ for every little inch. But what's interesting is that Dylan's probably going to do the same thing. If AJ can't get the move done quickly, Dylan will probably seize the advantage. However, AJ is getting it done quickly. He'll be down the inside at the penultimate corner. Travis tries to hang on the outside, but he's slightly squeezed off. A bit of ping pong going on, and that actually knocks Dylan backwards a bit. Oh, and actually they're both around. The teammates make a huge collision, and Dylan Bam absolutely gets the worst of it. I don't think that'll be a safety car, but no, because it was only one car that really spun there. Ramirez just kind of rebounded. Travis fakes a move down the inside. He couldn't get there. But despite that, he got a really good run from 2 and 3. AJ feels the pressure. He defends into 4. But going on the outside there in an LMP3 is never going to work. Oh, but AJ is wide of the exit. Travis gets back alongside, but the outside lane again. He's going to try the long way around, and it almost works. It's exactly as I said. He's not letting AJ go. He's hanging on to the other side of the moment. Oh, but that's a terrible corner for Van Oostendorp. I don't think he's going to be allowed to maintain that advantage. He's going to be given a slowdown any second. But he's cost AJ 3 seconds to the lead 3. And barring a last-minute safety car, Dylan Bam is effectively out of contention following that contact with his teammate Ramirez. Ramirez himself is... No, he's not out of the race. He's about a second behind Van Oostendorp, but he's looking at a max of 5th, barring unforeseen circumstance. Although, unforeseen circumstance can definitely happen. We saw AJ flip over 20 minutes ago, or 15 minutes ago, so crazier things have happened today. Yeah, top three staying pretty evenly spaced apart. AJ is starting to bite into it a little bit. He's cut the lead. He's cut the distance from him to Gabe down by about a second since we last checked in on him. Since he overtook Travis finally, after he basically pried fourth, literally from Travis's cold dead hands. Now Luis Ramirez has caught back up to Van Oostendorp after contact earlier. He'll attempt to get around the 25 car. Has a peek at the chicane, but thinks better of that decision. He will tailgate Travis down towards the last two corners. And he's going to go try the long way around. But he is shoved off a little. Well, not shoved off. He's squeezed out. I should mind my wording. But no, he's not able to convert there. Gabe Gazzola has fallen off the lead too, and he is falling back into the clutches of AJ Knickel. But I think, again, especially with his teammate leading, Gabe is going to fight for everything it's worth here for third place. Also, obviously, for third place, you know, a podium. What the heck, AJ? What was he doing there? I just realized, do we have any Janettas in the field? I can't really tell the difference super well, other than the headlights. Is that a Janetta? I don't even know. I literally don't know which one's which. Part of me wants to say Jurg's in one. I'm not sure. These are Ligiers, and therefore Stotts is in a Ligier as well, obviously. I could look, but I feel like the second I look away from the race to look. Also, Ramirez got to fifth. I didn't see that. Whoops. I feel like the second I'd look is the second AJ would go for a move on Gazzola, and I'd totally miss it. Oh, we almost had big contact there. That would have been a moment. Oh, Jurg is right there now. Stotts may have made a bit of a slip-up out of the last turn. We'll see if Jurg's feeling himself here. I think he will be. Meanwhile, further back, it's a battle for third as well. Jurg does not go for it, as Gabe tries to out-drag the Canadian, but he will fail. And he kind of let that go a little easier than I had expected him to. Once again, though, he does get a really good run out of turn 3. He might try something into 4, but no dice. And this time AJ makes the corner properly at 5, so no chance for a surprise cutback either. I wonder if Jurg is trying the F1 strategy of just letting Stotts sit in the race lead until the last minute. He may not be trying to fight him right now, because I do think he probably could have had a chance into turn 1 if he wanted it, and he just didn't want it. I think the two cars are about even heading onto the front stretch, so I don't think they'll be seeing a move. Jurg will be getting a little closer because of slipstream, but that's not going to do enough. Man, I need to blow my nose. Ah, finally. A little less sniffling. Apologies for that awkward bit, but thank God there's a mute button on the controller. Makes that a lot more convenient than having to yank the cord out of my controller to do that. One of the most underrated features of the PS5 controller, and you cannot convince me otherwise. The gap between Jurg and AJ has changed only slightly. It's a few tenths less than it was from the moment that AJ took third place. Probably helps that Jurg is running really fast laps, him and Stotts alike. Look at the timings here. You can kind of see their fastest laps. These laps look like they could be 38s from Stotts and from Jurgensmeyer. 7.5 minutes to go in the race as we head across the start-finish line, which means we should be looking at 5 to go here. And indeed, a 38.8 for Stotts. That might be about what his qualifying lap was, but it was a 38.3 for AJ, so they're doing everything. They've given it a... Pick a sentence, Striker. They're giving it everything they have, but it's... What happened to Jurgensmeyer? I've looked away for 10 seconds, and this man has fallen off the back of Stotts. And he's now only about a second and a half ahead of AJ. What did I just miss? But yeah, as I was saying, we're looking at about 5 laps of racing left here from Imola. Obviously, still time for things to change, as we just saw Jurg lose 3 whole seconds to Matthew. Thought I blew that crap out of there! My god. Meanwhile, ways back, we see Ramirez running Gabe Gazilla straight off the racetrack, actually. Nearly putting him in the wall. Travis will get by as a result of that. I don't really know how the... I don't think that was really good. No duh. AJ lost some time to Jurg. He's now about 2 seconds back from the 23 car. Let's see if Gabe can at least get back to 5th. Get around his buddy Travis. The steward in me realizes we'll probably be seeing that submitted later, but as for broadcasting me, that's not really my problem at the moment. Has a peak, but wasn't alongside, so couldn't get anything done there. Oh, I don't think fuel is the reason that AJ is losing speed. I think is he just run out of pace? Or is his rhythm off? I'm not really sure, but either way, he's not making up any time to Jurgensmeyer, and he's certainly not making up any to Matthew Stotts. Dylan Bam takes the pits again. Not really sure. Well, I know what went wrong for him, but I don't know what went wrong the second time around. That's a lot of damage. My god. We should be looking at 3 to go as Stotts takes crosses the stripe here. Just over 4 minutes left in the race. Man, I'm having a conniption over here. What is going on? Travis was making inroads on Gazilla, but a really bad turn 1 is probably going to diminish that a little bit. God, I thought that this was catching up to Stotts. I'm like, how did he get here? No, that's the blue flag of Andrew Davis, who spins himself in an effort to get out of the way. That lap car did not know his rights. My word. Oh, around goes AJ in the final turn. I think he hooked that curb and it fought back. Andrew Davis is going to get by. It doesn't really matter. What AJ needs to be concerned about is, does Ramirez get by? And that's going to be a no. However, that has pretty much eliminated any chances of AJ getting above third. And he's going to have Andrew Davis in his way. Blue flags probably take care of that in a minute, as Ramirez's car is transcending reality. We'll just not look at that. Also, Travis has fallen a little ways off the back of Gabe. I forgot to the mute button time on that one. Kind of awkward if I didn't. Looks like Matthew Stotts will soon be taking us to the white flag here. Only a minute and change left in the session. It'll be about pretty much exactly a minute left in the race as he crosses the stripe. Ramirez has lost the back of AJ Knickel. Looks like a really slow chicane is the reason for that. And not a great penultimate turn. It's just going to seal the deal on that. So I think we pretty much got a running order set, barring, well, unforeseen circumstance. But again, we really can't seem to rule that out today because the unexpected has been happening quite a bit today. And I think that's best shown by Matthew Stotts himself. He got a good restart and just kind of put himself in a position to really just seize the moment when things went chaotic. And after taking the lead from his ex-team owner Travis Van Oostendorp, he is just kind of... he hasn't run away by any means. Not until Jurg made a few mistakes, but he controlled the race about as well as he or really anybody really can. Jurg didn't seem to be putting too much pressure on him. Whether that's just the fact that Jurg didn't put any, or the fact that Stotts didn't react to it. Two more corners left to go for Matthew Stotts. Ramirez was catching up to the back of AJ Knickel, but a section like that is going to derail that pretty fast. And out of the last turn, Matthew Stotts heads down the very long front stretch at Imola. And he will claim ultimate victory in the opening round of the ARC Prototype Challenge. Didn't see that coming. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer will come home in second place and absolutely destroy his race car. And a narrow third place finish, AJ Knickel will just about bring it home in one piece. Luis Ramirez will twitch his way to fourth place, Gabe fifth, Travis sixth, and definitely the story of the day is Dylan Bam with, Dylan Bam bombed. That's the best way I can really word that one. Contact with his teammate took him out with about 15-20 minutes to go, and he could never fully recover from that. especially not after making multiple further incidents. But I'm going to now summon our podium finishers, and by that I actually mean I'm just going to individually invite them into here. Alright, now we just wait.
Travis. The
heck? Still waiting for... There's Matthew's dots. Alright, so now we have our podium finishers from today's ARC Prototype Challenge. We shall start things with... I should have been thinking about questions. We shall start things with our podium finisher, AJ Knickel, who had second place pace, but things just kind of... They just kind of seemed to undo themselves. Actually, no, wait, I'm forgetting how the race went. I already forgot somehow that you flipped over. What was the... How did that, I guess just talk us through that three-wide battle, because the camera was just kind of staring off in space there a little bit.
I mean, I was... I got the biggest run of the two cars, and I took it, and I was well ahead going off into turn one and completely clear. And I went to turn down in the corner, and next thing I saw, one of the two cars that was behind me cutting through the grass full speed, and like went across my nose, and then the next car hit me from behind, and I flipped over. So
they both hit you. I thought I didn't know Gabe made contact. I thought.
Well, no, he didn't. He went like across my nose, like I saw him go by really quick, and I was like, something's about to happen, and then I got hit. So.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a. It was like a foreshadowing, we'll say.
I imagine probably latency had some role to play there, since that middle car was Ramirez.
Yeah, I mean, as you probably saw, I don't know how much of that battle at the end you were watching with him, but he got into me in the chicane at the end and spun me around, and luckily I pretty much saved it, but he said it was lagged, which really irritating, because had he actually hit me, there would have been nothing I could have reported. I just would have been in the wall, so... we gotta figure something out there.
Something like GT7.
Yeah, it's just a little frustrating because it's like, you can't race him. He's quick. He's really fun to race against when he's, not lagging, but when he is lagging, it's too difficult to actually do anything, so... Yeah.
And then also... Because I didn't actually invite Dylan in here, you were, I believe, with a car ahead when he and his teammate got together, weren't you? Or was that somebody else?
Dylan and his teammate got together?
Dylan or Luis, that's what put Dylan out of the race.
Oh yeah, I was the one there. Yeah, I wasn't fully aware what happened. I just saw Dylan hit the wall really hard, and I was like, oh crap, there goes Dylan.
So I just assumed that was latency too.
From there, it's just... Yeah, I don't know at this point. I was just focused on picking my way through cars. I felt like I drove a pretty clean race and just didn't quite have the pace to fight with the top two cars. The reg changes obviously are going to help some people and hurt some people too in terms of the assists we're allowed to use. I think it's probably going to hurt me more than others, and we'll just hop back on the horse and get to work.
Because I don't think the regulations made the biggest difference. I think it was just the chaos of battling just kind of favors certain people more than others.
I mean, you can see the lap times too. Like, lap time wise, we weren't all there. I only really hit that one lap time I got once, and from there I was like 4/10 off the rest of the race. So, I don't know. A lot of work to do into next week.
Yeah, well, with that in mind, we'll head to Jonathan Jurgensmeyer finishes P2, basically continuing his streak of podiums from IndyCar. You kind of sat in Matthew Stotts' wake for a while until you made a mistake of some description. Were you just kind of waiting for the last minute, or you really didn't have the pace to get around the race leader?
I felt like I had the pace, and I think that showed in qualifying, but, I mean, I couldn't really do anything behind Stotts. Every exit, he just has perfect grip. I mean, it's annoying, but I mean, it's whatever. I feel like if I didn't get punted that restart 3 wide, I probably would have won the race. If I didn't get sent by my teammate, I probably would have won the race. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's just annoying when Travis on that restart.
Oh, I didn't know your cars were teammates. They don't look at all similar.
And then, I mean, yeah, it's just annoying when the car ahead could do things with this car that you can't. So, I mean, just frustrating. I like my pace in these cars, though. I think I could really fight as much for a championship as I could in the Indy cars. So, I mean, we'll just continue on and hopefully pick up a win next week.
And then on to Mr. Perfect Grip, in the words of one Sergio Perez. He just has so much rear end. Matthew Stotts, who I believe just kind of picked up the pieces on that restart, as mentioned. If you can try to take us through just the way you positioned yourself on that restart, how do you think you got to that position at all?
Well, I knew from the jump when I saw Logan was going to be the leader. I knew it was going to be hectic, you know what I'm saying? Knew something silly was going to go down. And, I don't know, I got a really good start there, and I just was able to get around the 2, and then I was trying not to, be aggressive with Logan or anything like that. I wasn't trying to push him out the way, but, I had places to be. I think Travis passed me, and I knew I was a little faster than him, so I wasn't worried, really about trying to pass him at that time. I don't know, man. It was great for me. Obviously, these reg changes, like AJ said, it hurts people and helps others, and for me, it helps me. Didn't know this track too often in these cars, so I couldn't really get a good qualifying spot, which I felt like really hindered me or hurt me, at least at the start, to where I had to try and work my way up. But yeah, I mean, it's a win, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, especially considering that qualifying spot to get to where you were was critical, and that's what safety cars often do, especially when Logan Cool is leading us to the green flag.
Yeah, that was scary. I don't know what was about to go down when I saw him leading us to the green. I just had no idea what bro was cooking.
And then as for your 1-2 run with Jurgensmeyer, were you feeling the pressure, or were you just kind of pretending he wasn't there?
I felt it. I'll be quite honest. I felt it a little bit. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I felt it a little bit. Put myself into areas where I picked up slowdowns and stuff like that. But when Jurg had an issue, I don't know what he had. I didn't even notice until maybe 2 corners later. I just knew I had to relax myself and kind of just drive the car, or let the car drive itself, to where I didn't make any dumb mistakes or anything like that.
Well, it's obviously worked. Well done on the surprise victory. I must be honest, I didn't really see that coming when we got into this race, that you would be the winner, and the driver that I thought would win ends up in last, some 3 minutes behind.
I didn't think I'd have a chance, but I got lucky with that safety car and took full advantage of it.
Yeah, that's just how the pieces fall sometimes. Right place, right time. But with that in mind, that'll do it for the ARC Prototype Challenge, the first round in the books. It'll be until Friday for the next streamed race. You won't hear from me again until the next prototype round I don't know where it is, but it's next Monday. I looked at the schedule, and then I immediately forgot what it was. But regardless, shout out to ARC's many sponsors, title sponsor, DIVEBOMB, their motorsports news articles, the SimLeague Pro, not the SimLeague Pro. Wow. SimLeague Pro, the site that ARC uses to recruit, schedule, and organize all of its, almost a dozen different racing series now. It's crazy. I don't know how some people can run every race every week. I commentate one per week now, and sometimes I feel like I'm losing my mind. That was weird. Network error. Yeah, SLP, the Burn and Rubber podcast, run by all the rather absent JSR crew that covers the American side of motorsports, dirt and oval racing, and IMSA and stuff too. James McAdam, who our partnership with him means that we can use his video game photography and other screenshots for promotional material, and AJ Kinnickle Design, who designs the promotional materials. But that is it from me, and until, well, Monday to see me again, or Friday for ARC Formula 1 action. But until then, goodbye.